You get a raise. Not huge. Maybe $8,000 more per year. For about 2 weeks you feel unstoppable. You upgrade your phone. You go out a little more. You stop checking prices as much. You breathe easier. And then, 3 months later, you feel exactly the same as before. Still stressed. Still thinking about money. Still wondering why it doesn't feel different. If that sounds familiar, this video is going to hit close to home. Because income doesn't change your life evenly. It changes it in stages. And most people have no idea which stage they're actually in. My name is Ethan, and I spend way too much time thinking about income growth, wealth building, and the psychology of lifestyle inflation. If you're someone who feels stuck financially, constantly waiting for the next raise to finally feel comfortable, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Today we're breaking down the 5 income levels that completely change your lifestyle. Not in a motivational way. In a mathematical and psychological way. Because here's the thing. Making more money doesn't automatically make you happier. But certain income thresholds? They change your decisions. They change your stress. They change your options. And they change who you become. Let's get into it. Level 1. Survival income. Let's call this roughly $0 to $35,000 per year, varies by location, but stay with me. At this level, your life is dominated by fixed costs. Rent, food, transportation, utilities, insurance. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, the average American household spends over 70% of income on essentials alone at lower income levels. That means almost nothing is left for investing, saving, building assets, margin. Here's what most people don't realize. At survival income, your brain is in scarcity mode. Psychologists call this cognitive load under scarcity. When money is tight, your decision-making bandwidth shrinks. You don't think long-term. You think about Friday. You think about the next bill. You think about avoiding overdraft. That's not a character flaw. That's survival psychology. And here's where people get it wrong. They assume someone making $30,000 just needs better budgeting. If your rent is $1,200, your car costs $400, food is $400, insurance is $200, utilities are $250, you're already at $2,450 per month. That's $29,400 per year before taxes. There's no magical spreadsheet that fixes math. At level 1, the solution isn't optimization. It's income growth. And this is important. You don't build wealth in level 1. You build skills. Level 2, stability income. Let's define this roughly as $40,000 to $75,000 per year. This is where something interesting happens. Bills are paid. You're not panicking every week. You might save a little. You might invest occasionally. According to census data, the median U.S. household income is around $74,000. This is the middle zone. And here's the psychological shift. You move from survival stress to comparison stress. Now you're not worried about rent. You're worried about whether you're behind, whether your friends are doing better, whether you should upgrade your lifestyle. This is where it gets really interesting. Because this is the level where lifestyle inflation quietly kills wealth. You get a $10,000 raise. After taxes, maybe that's $7,000. That's about $583 per month. And what happens? Bigger apartment, new car payment, better gym, more dining out. The raise disappears. Here's the trap. At level 2, your lifestyle expands to match income. So you feel stable. But you don't build leverage. This is why 2 people making $70,000 can have completely different futures. One increases fixed expenses. The other increases investments. The difference compounds for decades. Level 3, leverage income. This is roughly $80,000 to $150,000 per year. Now we're entering the zone where behavior determines everything. At $100,000 per year. After taxes, maybe you bring home around $70,000 to $75,000 depending on location. Let's say your lifestyle costs $50,000 per year. That leaves $20,000 to $25,000. Now we're talking. If you invest $25,000 per year at 8%, after 10 years that's about $362,000. That's not motivational fluff. That's math. Here's what most people don't realize. Level 3 is where wealth becomes optional or inevitable. Because now you have margin. Margin is power. Margin means you can invest aggressively. You can take calculated risks. You can start a business. You can survive job loss. But here's the psychological danger. At this level, ego spending explodes. You start comparing neighborhoods, cars, vacations, private schools. Now you might be thinking, okay, Ethan, but $100,000 doesn't feel rich anymore. You're right, because rich is relative. But $100,000 with discipline is different than $100,000 with lifestyle inflation. Level 3 is where futures split. Level 4, freedom income. Let's define this as $150,000 to $300,000 plus per year. Now income begins to rival or exceed your core needs significantly. If someone earns $200,000 per year, after taxes, maybe $130,000 to $140,000. If their lifestyle costs $80,000, they can invest $50,000 plus annually. At 8% over 15 years, that's over $1.3 million. This is where it gets powerful. Because now time accelerates, and something shifts psychologically. You stop asking, can I afford this? You start asking, is this worth my time? That's a lifestyle shift. You outsource tasks. You buy convenience. You value flexibility. But here's the twist. Freedom income only works if fixed costs stay controlled. I've seen people making $250,000 living paycheck to paycheck because they built a $230,000 lifestyle. Income alone doesn't create freedom. Margin does. Level 5, wealth momentum income. This is where income becomes less important than assets. Typically $300,000 plus income or significant investment portfolio growth. At this level, investment returns can rival salary. If you have $2 million invested at 7%, that's $140,000 per year. Without working. Now income is optional. Work becomes strategic. This is where the real psychological transformation happens. You stop making decisions out of fear. You stop tolerating toxic environments. You stop staying in jobs you hate. You stop negotiating from weakness. Because money gives you optionality. And optionality changes identity. The surprising truth. Here's what most people don't realize. Each income level doesn't just change what you buy. It changes what you worry about. Level 1, can I survive? Level 2, am I behind? Level 3, am I building? Level 4, how do I optimize? Level 5, how do I design my life? Money doesn't remove problems. It upgrades them. The mistake most people make. They aim for the wrong target. They think, if I just make $X, everything changes. But income without discipline is temporary. Wealth is built on savings rate, investment consistency, fixed cost control, skill growth, not just income jumps. Action plan, move up one level. Wherever you are, here's the strategy. If you're in level 1, focus on skill stacking, certifications, negotiation, side income. Switch industries if necessary. Income growth matters most here. If you're in level 2, freeze lifestyle, automate investing, increase savings rate to 20% plus. This is your wealth launch window. If you're in level 3, max retirement accounts, invest aggressively, avoid ego purchases. This is compounding prime time. If you're in level 4, protect margin, invest in scalable assets, buy time not status. If you're in level 5, focus on asset allocation, tax efficiency, legacy planning. Income absolutely changes your lifestyle, but only at specific thresholds, and only if behavior matches opportunity. The real shift isn't when you hit $100,000. It's when your investments start covering expenses. That's the freedom line. And you don't get there by chasing lifestyle. You get there by building margin, step by step, level by level, identity by identity. If you're sitting at level 1 or 2 right now, you're not behind. You're early. And the moves you make in the lower levels matter more than the numbers in the higher ones. Because wealth isn't built when income is huge. It's built when discipline is small and consistent. If this helped you rethink income and lifestyle differently, hit the like button so more people understand how money really works. Subscribe to Growth Success Path if you want practical, no-hype strategies about investing, wealth building, and long-term financial freedom. And comment below. Which level are you in right now? Because clarity is the first step toward control. I'll see you in the next one.